A sunset somewhere quiet with somebody you love is an aesthetic experience, but posting an Instagram of that moment is aesthetic consumption.
And if you're watching the sunset and giving any level of thought to whether you might get some favorites as a result of doing so,
it corrupts the moment.
Yeah,
and I think probably in almost every sense, busyness is a systematic siphoning of beauty, of our ability to be present with and invite beauty into our lives.
It makes me think also about something else I just wanted to ask about, which is this notion in a lot of self-help advice that if you get the right system, you're not going to have to make sacrifices.
Putting structure in place allows you to produce more. But productivity is often the surest way to lull ourselves into a kind of trance of passivity where we show up for our lives, but we're absent from it.
It's not just that there's so much to do. It's also that we bring the spirit of busyness to everything else as well. We turn the whole of life into a to-do list. Although all of this is predicated on one pretty big assumption.
10 a.m. says, checked phone, and then the next 10 minutes she ate a banana. Here we have a time diary. It's a little booklet. I'm Jonathan Gershony. I'm the director of the Centre for Time Use Research in the Sociology Department at the University of Oxford. The
big assumption I'm talking about is that we really are busier today than in the past. And if anyone knows the answer to that, it's this guy. So, are we?
No. The short answer is we're about as busy as we used to be.
Hang on, what?
I think we probably do a bit less paid work than we used to do, but we do a whole lot more unpaid work.
It's worth considering what we mean by work here. Economists call it the third-person criterion. Could I pay someone to do it for me without losing the point of it? Could I pay someone to bake me a cake? Yes, so that counts as work. Could I pay someone to go to a concert for me? Well, that would defeat the point, so it's not work.
Work consists of 550 odd minutes per day, a bit less than 60 hours a week. But of course, there's huge amounts of change in how it's divided up across the population, rich and poor. The headline changes over the last 50 years is that women do a whole lot less unpaid work and they do a whole lot more paid work. Men do quite a bit less paid work and a whole lot more unpaid work. When you look at the total amounts of work, you actually find a rather remarkable result, which is that the total amounts of work are pretty much exactly the same.
But this flies in the face of everyday experience. Of course life's busier than it used to be, isn't it?
You know, there's a lot of value in those diaries, but I think what they don't take into consideration is that our perception of time is often a whole lot more real than what's actually happening on the clock.
Bridget Schulte is a writer and director of the Good Life Initiative at the US think tank New America. And for her, this mismatch between our experience of busyness and what the data seem to be saying is felt most acutely by working women.
When you ask men, how you're doing, the busyness tends to be all about work. And when you ask women, it's sort of much more of a smorgasbord of stuff you've got to do. It's work and it's kids and it's home. A lot of time use research, because they deal in averages, they'll show men tend to work longer hours at work and women tend to work fewer hours at work. And yet when you look at the total paid and unpaid work, women are still working a longer day.
So women who feel like they're busier than men are probably right, but we still all seem to feel life is busier than it used to be, which brings us to another surprise.
We ask people whether they're always busy, sometimes busy, never busy, and we also look at how busy they actually are in their daily lives. Pretty much without exception, the people who are most likely to answer that they're always busy are not objectively the people who are busiest. When we compare the results from the 2000 survey and the 2015 survey, we actually find that the associations have actually got weaker.
So just to recap, we think we're busier than ever, but we're not. The people who think they're the busiest aren't actually the busiest. And as the years go by, this disconnect between whether you say you feel busy and whether you're truly busy is getting bigger and bigger. So are people just lying? Or fooling themselves? Or is something else going on? It's questions like this that got Tony Crabb interested in the whole subject of busyness to start with.
Somewhere around 2010, 2011,